World, want to specially welcome you to the Millionaires Forum. This is a weekly program we put together for those who like to partner with us. Our business, our organization um, stands on two legs: those who buy from us and those who sell with us. And so, for those who would like to make additional income by through referrals, this platform is for us to do three key things: to evaluate the outgoing week, and to prepare for the new week, and then finally to get empowered through insights. We get charged and then inspire each other. That's pretty much what we do. And COVID-19 has made it compulsory that we now have to leverage the internet and forcing nearly all of us to go online to carry out our responsibility. And so I want to specially welcome you to the Millionaires Forum for today. LifePage Group, as most of you may be aware, is in the business of making lives richer. We are very passionate about seeing people create wealth legitimately. And we do so by extending real estate investment opportunities to our customers, okay? And then real estate business opportunities to those who want to make money through referrals. So, and we've had many situations, many cases where they buy and they still refer the people, all right? When customers are happy with what you're doing with them, they end up referring other people to you. And so that's pretty much what we are doing here. So I want to also apologize for kickstarting this late. We had network issues. We're still grappling with a few things in this part of the world. So we've been online trying to put things in place long before the time. Unfortunately, the entire network system went, grinded to a halt, and so we had to find alternatives before we could come back. So I apologize once again. So thank you for joining, and I want to especially welcome you all. We started something 2 weeks ago when I started talking about the irreversible habits of wealthy people. When you want to grow wealth, the smartest thing to do is actually to study wealthy people, to study their daily routine. I said then that the habits, the secret of great men is in their daily routine, in the consistency, the persistence at doing the same thing again and again. And there's no way you won't gain mastery doing something again and again. Um, what's the guy's name now? The author of Outliers. Who also wrote Tipping Point. The name just skipped my mind now. It spoke about a concept called the 10,000 hour rule. That if you find any area, any aspect of life you want to become an authority figure, if you do that thing consistently for 10,000 hours, which is equivalent to 5 years, he said you will become among the top, players in that space. And so most rich people, most wealthy people I have had personal relationship with, and some of the things I also practice, I consider myself one of them. And so is that there are things we do that's a daily ritual. Show me anyone, that does not have a daily routine, that does not have a daily ritual. There are things they do, they put in place every morning, every day, all right, that they don't fail to do. It's part of their life. It become their second nature. And one of the things I realize is a lot of times we want to copy their result, we want to produce their other result, but we don't want to copy their habits. We don't want to replicate their routine and so produce their other results. And so we began looking at a couple of things. To be wealthy, you've got to study wealthy people. To be successful, of course, you've got to study successful people. And some of the things I've observed and I've been privileged to adopt as my own personal lifestyle as some of the things we looked at. Just for the purpose of recap, we mentioned that number one, wealthy people save and invest first and spend whatever is left every time they make an income. So they always create new streams. They're always organizing how more money comes in. but every time income comes, they save and invest first. I'm not talking of people who look rich. I'm talking of people who are truly rich, right? So people who are truly wealthy, they save and invest first and spend whatever is left every time they make income. Number two, they take calculated risk. All right. So they often run towards what most poor people run away from. Those are some of the things we mentioned. We also mentioned that they are committed to value creation. Always. They are committed to value creation because money is a reward for solving a problem. Money is what you give, it's a means of exchange. So when you give value, you get money back in return. So they are committed to value creation and distribution. All right. So that's very important. And then we also mentioned that they build network, they build tribe, they build communities. We said that most poor people move in community. The same thing with wealthy, with the rich, they also move in communities. And so they are very deliberate about those who are in the circle, who are in their tribe. They're very, very deliberate. They are very, very deliberate. They don't surround themselves with just every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Not everyone that gains access to their space. Right. So they are very, very deliberate in that regard. And then we said number five, that they and hone scarce, they are certainly they own scarce skills. Scarce skills are skills that are in scarce supply. And the more the more the higher the degree of scarcity of your skill, the greater the value you can place on it, the higher you can charge. And so wealthy, they develop and hone scarce skills. We also established that talent is a gift, skill is by choice. Talent is what you are born with, but skill is something you have to develop deliberately, intentionally. So let's move on with the other five, right? Number six is they keep learning and practicing what they learn. Wealthy people are lifelong learners. They don't joke with learning. I the people who belong to my tribe, I call the tribe, I created a tribe of wealthy origin. And so once you register with 2,000 naira, 2,000 naira monthly subscription. But the alternative, which is a superior alternative, is to register for the Financial Freedom Masterclass. That way, you are able to be a part of the tribe. And I challenge my people a great deal. I monitor them closely. And one of the things the book I recommended to them recently was fantastic book, and I finished reading it, even though it's for the old month. I've already picked the second book I'm going to read for the next 1 week, and I just continue to build up like that. Rich people are lifelong learners. They learn from just about anything. They learn from anyone. They learn from anywhere, everywhere they go. In fact, they learn from people who are far more, inferior in status than them. I remember reading the book, the Walmart Way. The former COO of the company was the one who wrote the book, and it spoke a lot. It wrote about how that Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart. Walmart is the largest largest retail store in the world, and has the largest employee. I think in the world, or it should be the second largest. Um, even has more employees than the United States of America, I guess, right? So he said how that there was a time they went inspecting, going from place to place, going from one store to another. Well, that tells you something. Every rich person is also studying other people who are even doing great things as well, even if they are doing not so good as they are. They're also studying other people. They're checking them out. They're investigating. They are researching. They're buying their products too, right? And he said when they got in there, Sam Walton observed a particular type of shelf in that particular store. It's a far smaller store compared to Walmart at the time. And he said that he told his guys, "Come, we need to have those type of shelves now in our stores." He said, so organize how that's going to be in our stores. So he spots what is good and then they replicate it immediately. So he learns from just about anything. That's the signal. And until his death, he was the richest. Until Sam Walton's death, he was the richest. In fact, his wealth has been broken down into four or five. And some of his children, his wife, I think, are still part of the top 20 richest men in the world today. That's to tell you that this habit of learning, if you are proud and arrogant, you will never learn. If you know too much, if you be over sabi, you never go too far. And that's very, very important. So they are learning, always and always practicing. Now, one of the things I've realized is that learning, if you read a book, you probably retain just 10%. If you listen to, you probably retain maybe another 15 or 30, 20%. If you watch, you probably retain about 50%. You retain a lot more. So you will never forget what you do repeatedly. And that's very important. So they are always practicing what they learned. So they are always reading and researching. So you need to have an agenda for the books you read. You need to set an agenda. One book per month, for example, can be many basis, can just be a startup agenda for you. Okay, you can decide that, okay, sorry, I'm going to research in this area this month and allocate topics or key subject area in different. And then if it is an area where you want to develop expertise, then you make up your mind that this is the area I'm going to give much of my time to. Because one of the things I found out, all right, according to one of the wisest men that have lived on this planet Earth, and is still alive, he said that if you want to be an authority figure on any subject area at all, in any subject area, he said, if you read that number of books commensurate to your age, so it means that if you are 40 years, for example, and you must read at least 40 books in that subject area, he said that's what makes you an authority figure, right? So if you compare that with what I said earlier about Malcolm Gladwell, Malcolm Gladwell is the author of Outliers and Tipping Point. He's released a few other books, David and Goliath, The Underdog, and all of other books. So Malcolm Gladwell was one who came up with that idea of 10,000 hour rule. All right, that if you do something repeatedly for 10,000 hours, you become an authority. If you also look at that, also compare to reading a book commensurate to your age, then you become an authority figure. So you realize that anyone that you see that is successful in any craft, they've been at it for quite a long time. They don't just stumble into it. A lot of times people they want to follow shortcuts. They want to just stumble into it. It doesn't work that way. So please take note of all of these habits. You are what you repeatedly do. You are what you repeatedly do, not what you repeatedly say. You are what you repeatedly do. Because what it does, what habits does, is that it forms a neural pathway in your brain, so that the more you do it, the more it reinforces that. So you are no longer the one in charge. You are no longer the one making those things happen. It is those things that are just controlling you. So anything you have done, repeatedly over a period of time, it just becomes your second nature. So you want to watch out for this. It's common habits. They are always learning. I remember a distant mentor said in one of his CDs, how that one time he was flying first class um, from Nigeria to London, and then incidentally, Aliko Dangote was in that um, first class cabin, and even though the guy had three private jets or so, he still took a commercial plane. And while everybody was sleeping, including this distant mentor of mine, uh, Aliko Dangote was basically going through journals, going through materials, and all of that through the flight. So you find out that most successful people are lifelong learners. There's no two way about it. There's no alternative to learning. There's no alternative to it. And the interesting thing is that we've got plenty of these guys um, who want to accomplish feats never accomplished before, but who want to continue to do things the way they've always done it. It doesn't work that way. Okay, so um, that's number 6. Number 7 is they exercise daily. So they work out. They work out at least 3 to 5 times a week. They work out at least 3 to 5 times a week. For those of you who may not understand, your health is wealth, and you've got to pay serious attention to your health if you must enjoy your wealth. You've got to pay serious attention to your health if you must enjoy your wealth. I mean, what some people have done is that they've spent a significant part of their lives acquiring wealth or achieving wealth status, and then they now are by so doing they've spent their health, and now they have spent their wealth in order to recover their health, and in many cases they don't even live to survive it. So you don't want that to happen to you. You need to exercise, you need to work out, even if it is just to walk around. Motion, motion is very, 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 very important. This is so crucial. This is so crucial. I found this. One of my coaches recommended this to me, and I've since been using it. It's Leslie Sasson. Leslie Sasson. Leslie, and then San, Sansone. If you go on YouTube and check it, she does this work at home. So that's my latest instructor. I've been following her since January, no, since February. I've been following her since February this year, and she's been an amazing instructor. You will do for what you will do for 15 minutes, you can do 1 mile in 15 minutes just in your home, and without a treadmill, without any gadget. So it's something you want to take advantage of, just to work out. And so it's on YouTube, accessible on YouTube. So wherever you may be, anywhere in the world, you can go to that YouTube channel and then subscribe and then follow our instructions. It's been an amazing time also for me. Uh, Number three habits that wealthy people follow is that they pray. Wealthy people pray. They pray, they meditate, and they visualize daily. They pray, they meditate, and they visualize daily. Vision is a picture of a preferred future. So you have to first see it in the eye of your mind before you can see it with your physical eyes. So everything we can behold with our physical eyes right now was first conceived, was first seen in the mind, in the eyes of the mind of the inventors. And if you want to be in that mind, you have to begin to be able to you have to take time to pray. And let me say this, there is a power behind everyone who is creating wealth. And that's why you have to be careful not to envy them, not to criticize them. Because whatever you despise, you won't attract. So you want to make sure you even pray for successful people, for wealthy people. A friend of mine said to me, he said he has listed some names of the wealthiest people on planet Earth. And now one of the things he does is just pray for them. And his prayer is, Lord, as continue to preserve them, continue to protect them. Because if you fight them, the power behind them will fight you. And nobody became wealthy, just by chance. There are things they have activated. Once you open your mouth, there's an anti-system, autoresponder that fights you back. And a lot of people have become victims as such. I've not seen any poor man who has ever criticized a rich man that has become rich through criticism. I have not. Have not. And not everybody who has created wealth got it through crooked means. And guess what? You are either in the secret place or you are in the secret court. But behind everyone who has created any measure of wealth, there is a power behind them. So you want to be sure that you do what they do and you follow them. And so pray, take time. Through prayer, they're able to establish partnership with superior power, with I'm trying as much as possible not to sound religious here, to establish collaboration with divinity. Behind every miracle that we see on planet Earth, there is some degree of collaboration between divinity and humanity. Nothing just happens. They are made to occur. And so when you see somebody just enter some realms, there's a power that made it happen. Once you fight those people, you are fighting the power that's backing them. And then you can come under severe attack yourself and you will not be able to explain it. So I always encourage people, beware of envy, beware of jealousy. Once you see successful people, you say, why, what's even wrong with themselves? Why are they the only one? What you don't realize is that you're activating a negative energy to flow around you, and it will repel that's some degree of favor you're supposed to admire, right? So please watch out for that. And then, of course, they meditate. When they read, they take time to think about it. They think about how they can apply it. One of the ways by which I've personally been able to apply some of the things I read is I'm always asking myself, how can I apply this? I start to practice it. I start to practice it. immediately and I start to meditate. When do I apply it and all of those things? And that it goes along with. There are many things I do today. I can't even say exactly which of the books or where I learned them from. But when I meditate on them, it's it digests the information for further use. And so you want to do that regularly. And then you want to also imagine things. Your there is a part of your mind that replaces the past. It's called memory. There's a part of your mind that contemplates, that reviews. It's called contemplation. That reviews the moment. It's called contemplation. There's a part of your mind that replaces the future. It's called imagination. That aspect of your mind is so powerful that if you can visualize things, it does not matter whether they are within your reach now. Everything I've dreamt about, everything I've ever imagined in my life, I've been able to attract into my life. And so it's very, very powerful, very, very powerful. So if you cannot see it in your mind, in the eye of your mind, it will be difficult to even recognize it in the physical. So most times we are able to recognize things like we have imagined when they come around us. There's a law called the law of recognition. And that law states that everything you need is already around you, only awaiting your recognition. Have you noticed that the moment you start driving a particular car, or somebody close to you start driving a particular brand of car, you start observing and start recognizing those cars around you? It doesn't mean that the cars are new. It only means that you are woken up to awareness. You are woken up to recognition, and that's what has happened. So I want to encourage you, take time to visualize. If you want to create wealth, it has to be a daily habit. Yeah, it has to be a daily habit. And one of the places where I find very convenient to do that is in the toilet. A lot of people don't realize this. Just lock yourself inside the toilet because nobody will come and meet you there. It's a very fantastic way to imagine things, to dream, to imagine, to visualize how colorful, how beautiful your future would look like. And that future can be 1 month from now, can be 2 months from now, can be 1 year from now, can be 3 years from now, can be 30 years from now also. Right? Many of the things I've had the opportunity to imagine with the eye of the mind. Any of them, some of them have come to pass, some of them are in process. What that does, it prepares you to accept miracles. There are people that if 1 billion comes their way, they can sink, they can run mental. They won't be able to sleep. They will lose their sleep. Why? Their mind has not yet accepted it. So whatever your mind has not yet been able to accept, your hand is not likely to handle. And that's the way it works. And if you ever come across such unmistakably, one of the things that could happen to you that it will crash you, it could kill you, it could finish you. So you want to make sure that you work on that. Number four is that they engage in positive confession. Most wealthy people I know don't talk scarcity. They don't talk it. One of the things that changes once your mind changes is your language. Your language changes. And once your language changes, you begin to attract the material equivalent. It's very, very important. So wealthy people, make positive confessions, right? I tell people to say billion, 1 billion, 2 billion, 3 billion, and all of those things. But I realize that some people have not yet accepted it in their mind. They feel that we're just pulling our leg, Jerry. But you have to be comfortable, you know, calling those type of figures. You have to be comfortable naming what you want, what you desire, right? So that you will be able to attract. Life has a way of giving you what you confess. I'm telling you the truth. Life will give you what you confess more regularly. So nobody talks scarcity around me. Once you say, hold it, you don't talk scarcity around me. So I'm very conscious of this. Most rich people are very conscious of this, so they insulate and protect the energy around them by confessing and declaring positive things daily. It doesn't mean that they don't go through challenges. Rather than confess those negative things, they confess because what you say creates a type of energy. So if you confess positive, you create the positive energy. If you confess negative, you also create negative energy around you. And finally, the final number 10 habit of wealthy people is that they review and evaluate their lives, their plans, their agenda, their calendar. They review it regularly. They review their strategy regularly. They're always evaluating because no one who is successful, you know, does things unintentionally. There are things that come to them unplanned, but because they already have plans, they are able to maximize those unplanned opportunities They are able to take advantage of unplanned, opportunities. So evaluate from time, looking at how can we do it better, how can we do it faster, how can we do it, smarter, how can we make it cheaper, how can we make it easier. That's the way they constantly evaluate. But if you check out poor people, they don't do all these things. They don't. They always blaming somebody. They always feel somebody's prosperity is the reason why they have not succeeded. They always feel that somebody owes them something somewhere. So you see that there's a disparity. And everywhere in the world, you find this same habit play out. So it's not about the economy of your nation, it's about you. You are the critical success factor to how wealthy you become. So you want to make a big, you want to become a billionaire. One of the things you've got to do is to think like a billionaire. Start to develop the habits of billionaires, and you'll be excited, you'll be surprised at how much you'll be able to accomplish with your life. And I say this conclusively. One of the things I realized, I even thought about that yesterday during my meditation, that I've seen people who have earned some serious money. I have seen people who appear to be rich, but they don't have the habits that I've described. Watch it, they won't last. They won't last. Yeah, that's why I love the concept my mentor shares. He said, if you jump up, you will stay, you will come down. If you jump up, you will come down. But if you grow up, he said you stay up. So one of the keys to staying up is to develop these habits. So that when those opportunities for when those rainfall comes, unplanned income, unplanned breakthrough, unplanned favor, unplanned opportunities. When those things come, because you have developed these habits, you are in a better frame of mind, better posture to maximize them. But if you don't develop these habits, it'll be very tough to retain your championship level. I hope this helps you today, right? Thank you so much for joining.